2
How did you do
hours. That's how long the baby had been screaming. Every passenger on the private jet sat frozen, eyes forward, hands gripped tight. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed too loud. Because when a billionaire's child cries like that, you don't interfere. You don't even look. But McKenna couldn't stop looking. She stood at the back of the cabin, hands folded, heart twisting with every scream. The sound wasn't normal. It wasn't just fussy. It was pain. Rowan Hale held his son like he was holding fire. His hands shook. His jaw clenched so hard she could see the muscle jump. Sweat lined his temples. His shirt stuck to his back. The youngest self-made billionaire in New York. A man who could buy silence with a word. A man who controlled empires. And right now, he looked completely powerless. McKenna's chest tightened. She wasn't supposed to be on this flight. She wasn't even supposed to be near him. Staff stayed invisible. Staff didn't speak unless spoken to. But that cry. God, that cry. It tore through her like a knife she'd felt before. Hi, viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Warm welcome to the family. Enjoy the story. Rowan tried rocking the baby. Nothing. He tried bouncing him gently. Nothing. He whispered something soft. The baby only screamed louder. His eyes lifted, sharp, desperate, angry. What are you staring at? McKenna's breath caught. Every instinct told her to look away, to step back, to stay silent. But she couldn't. Sir, she said quietly. He's not fussy. Rowan's face hardened. Excuse me? He's not fussy, she repeated, steadier this time. He's hurting. He's fine. But his voice cracked when he said it. The baby gasped, a sharp, choking sob that made McKenna's stomach drop. She stepped forward. Please, she said, let me help. The cabin went silent. Even the hum of the jet seemed to pause. Rowan stared at her. His eyes were bloodshot, hollow, like a man drowning in plain sight. You think you can do better? He whispered. It wasn't a challenge. It was a plea. McKenna nodded. For a long moment, Rowan didn't move. Then slowly, like he was surrendering something sacred, he stood. He walked toward her, and he placed his son in her arms. The first time he'd ever let anyone else hold him. Elias screamed once more, loud, desperate. Then McKenna pressed him gently to her chest. She swayed. She hummed low, just a soft sound, barely a melody, and Elias stopped, just like that. His tiny body relaxed, his breathing slowed, his little fist curled against her shirt. The cabin stayed silent. Rowan stood there, staring. His mouth opened, but no words came out. The other passengers turned their heads now, shocked, confused. McKenna looked down at the baby in her arms. His eyes were half closed. Peaceful. Safe. Her throat burned with something she hadn't felt in 2 years. Rowan's voice came out broken. How? He took a step closer. How did you do that? McKenna met his eyes. She didn't know what to say. She didn't know how to explain what her body remembered, what her heart never forgot. But before she could answer, the jet lurched, hard. The lights flickered. Elias whimpered, and somewhere in the cockpit, an alarm started screaming. Rowan's face went pale, because this wasn't turbulence. This was something else. The alarm stopped, but the silence that followed felt worse. McKenna held Elias tight against her chest, feeling his little heartbeat racing beneath her palm. The jet had steadied, but the tension in the cabin hadn't. Rowan stood in front of her, staring like he'd just witnessed something impossible. How did you calm him? He asked again, quieter this time. McKenna didn't answer right away. She couldn't, because the truth sitting heavy on her tongue wasn't something you just said out loud. Elias stirred. His mouth opened. A soft whimper escaped, then a cry. Not loud, not sharp, hungry. McKenna recognized that sound immediately. It was the kind of cry that twisted deep in your stomach. The kind that said, I need you. Right now. Rowan stepped closer. What does he need? McKenna swallowed hard. He's hungry. I tried a bottle, Rowan said quickly. He won't take it. He hasn't eaten in hours. Elias's cries grew stronger, more desperate. McKenna rocked him gently, her mind spinning. She knew what he needed, but saying it out loud meant opening a door she'd kept shut for 2 years. Rowan's voice cracked. Please, if you know something, anything, I can feed him, McKenna said softly. Rowan blinked. What? She lifted her eyes to his, steady, sure. I can breastfeed him. The words hung in the air like smoke. Rowan stared at her, confused, shocked. Then his gaze dropped to Elias, then back to her. You have a child? McKenna's throat tightened. I did. The past tense landed like a punch. Rowan's face softened instantly. I'm sorry, I didn't. He died 2 years ago, McKenna said quietly. But my body, it never stopped. Some pain never leaves. It just finds new purpose. Rowan looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time, not as staff, not as invisible, as a mother who'd lost everything. Elias cried louder now, desperate, aching. Rowan's hands trembled. Are you sure? McKenna nodded. I wouldn't offer if I wasn't. For a moment, Rowan just stood there, a billionaire who could buy the world, standing powerless in front of a woman offering the only thing money couldn't purchase. Then please, he whispered. Help him. McKenna turned toward the back of the cabin. Rowan followed. One of the attendants quickly pulled a privacy curtain across the small section, shielding them from the other passengers. Inside the narrow space, McKenna sat down. Her hands shook as she adjusted Elias in her arms. She hadn't done this in so long. Not since... She pushed the memory away. Elias's tiny mouth searched instinctively. And when he latched, the world went still. His cries stopped. His body relaxed. He was safe. McKenna closed her eyes, tears slipping down her cheeks. She didn't try to stop them. Rowan stood just outside the curtain, watching through the narrow gap. His expression was unreadable. Awe, heartbreak, gratitude, guilt, all of it at once. Thank you, he whispered. McKenna didn't respond. She just held the baby closer, feeling a warmth she thought she'd never feel again. For a few minutes, everything was calm. Then, the jet lurched, hard. The lights flickered. Once, twice. Elias flinched but stayed latched. McKenna's heart slammed against her ribs. Rowan grabbed the wall to steady himself. What the hell was that? The captain's voice crackled over the speaker. Tight, scared. Mr. Hale, we have a situation. Rowan stepped toward the cockpit. What kind of situation? A pause. Then the captain's voice dropped. Someone tampered with the fuel line. We're losing pressure fast. McKenna's blood went cold. Rowan's face hardened instantly. The businessman snapped awake, sharp, dangerous. Turn us around, he ordered. Now. The jet banked sharply. McKenna braced herself, one arm cradling Elias, the other gripping the seat. Rowan crouched in front of her, his voice lower now. I need you to trust me. McKenna looked at him, confused, afraid. Why me? Rowan glanced at Elias, then back at her. Because he's only calm with you, he said, and that means something. The jet dipped again. Harder this time. Passengers gasped. Someone swore under their breath. McKenna held Elias tighter, whispering soft words she wasn't sure he could hear over the noise. Rowan stayed close, watching her, watching his son. Minutes crawled by like hours. Finally, the jet slammed onto the runway of a private hangar. The impact jolted everyone forward. McKenna gasped, but Elias stayed quiet against her chest. The door opened immediately. Security flooded the cabin. Boots, voices, commands. One of the guards handed Rowan a folder. Rowan opened it. His face went pale. McKenna frowned. "What's wrong?" Rowan stared at the paper like it was written in blood. Then he looked up at her, eyes wide with something she couldn't name. Fear. Shock. Disbelief. "McKenna." His voice barely came out. "This file has your name on it." McKenna stared at the folder in Rowan's hands. Her name. Right there on the front in bold black letters. "Why would my name be in your security file?" she whispered. Rowan didn't answer. He just stood there, eyes locked on the paper like it was burning his fingers. The guards shifted around them, tense, ready. One of them stepped forward. "Sir, we need to move you to a secure location immediately." Rowan held up a hand. "Give me a minute." "Sir, we don't have—" I said, "Give me a minute." The guard backed off. McKenna's heart pounded. Elias stirred against her chest, sensing her fear. "Rowan," she said, voice shaking. "What's in that file?" He looked up at her, and for the first time since she'd met him, she saw something she didn't expect. Fear. "I don't know yet," he said quietly. "But if your name is in here, it means someone's been watching you." The words hit her like ice water. "Watching me? Why?" Rowan flipped the folder open. His eyes scanned the first page, then the second. His jaw tightened with every line. "This wasn't random," he muttered. "The sabotage, the fuel line, it was targeted." McKenna's breath caught. Targeted at who? Rowan looked at Elias, then at her. "At him," he said. "And now, maybe at you too. Would you trust a stranger with your life?" The question hung in the air between them like smoke. McKenna pulled Elias closer. "I don't understand. I'm nobody. I'm just—" "You're not nobody," Rowan cut in. "Not anymore." He stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "McKenna, I need you to stay close to him. Don't let anyone else near him. Not the guards. Not the staff. No one." "Why me?" "Because he trusts you," Rowan said. "And right now, that's the only thing I trust." The weight of his words pressed down on her. A billionaire, asking a maid to protect his son, because he didn't know who else to turn to. One of the guards approached again. "Sir, the hangar's been secured, but we need to leave now." Rowan nodded. He turned back to McKenna. "Stay with me. Don't leave my side." She nodded, clutching Elias tighter. They moved quickly through the hangar. Guards surrounded them on all sides. The air smelled like jet fuel and cold metal. McKenna's legs shook with every step. She'd never been in a situation like this. She wasn't trained for danger. She wasn't built for this world. But Elias was warm against her chest, breathing steady, safe. And somehow, that was enough. They reached a black SUV waiting by the exit. The door swung open. Rowan gestured for her to get in first. "Go." McKenna climbed inside, cradling Elias carefully. Rowan slid in beside her. The guards flanked the vehicle. The driver didn't wait. The SUV roared to life and tore out of the hangar. McKenna looked out the window. The city lights blurred past them. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Somewhere safe," Rowan said. "And where's that?" He didn't answer. McKenna turned to look at him. His face was hard, focused, but underneath she saw something cracking. "Rowan," she said softly. "What's really going on?" He exhaled slowly. "I don't know yet. But whoever did this, they knew exactly when we'd be in the air. They knew the route. They knew the timing. So it's someone close to you." Rowan's jaw clenched. "Yeah." McKenna's stomach twisted. Elias whimpered. She rocked him gently, humming that same soft tune from before. Rowan watched her. His expression softened just slightly. "You're good with him," he said quietly. McKenna swallowed the lump in her throat. "I've had practice." Your son, Rowan hesitated. What was his name? McKenna's breath hitched. She hadn't said his name out loud in months. Caleb, she whispered. Rowan nodded slowly. I'm sorry. She didn't respond. She couldn't. The SUV turned sharply. McKenna gripped the seat to steady herself. One of the guards in the front seat spoke into his radio. We're clear. No tail. Rowan leaned back, exhaling, but McKenna couldn't relax. Something felt wrong. The folder. Her name. The sabotage. None of it made sense. Rowan, she said. Why would someone put my name in that file? He looked at her, and for a long moment he didn't say anything. Then he reached into his jacket and pulled out a single piece of paper from the folder. He handed it to her. McKenna's hands trembled as she unfolded it. It was a birth certificate. Her eyes scanned the page. Mother's name. McKenna Brooks. Father's name. Rowan Hale. Infant's name. Elias Hale. Her heart stopped. No, she whispered. This can't be real. Rowan's voice was barely audible. I didn't know either. McKenna stared at the paper. Her vision blurred. A photograph slipped out from between the folds. It was a hospital photo. A nurse holding a newborn baby. And the woman's face in the picture was hers. The photograph trembled in McKenna's hands. Her face, her eyes, her hair, but holding a baby she'd never seen before. No, she whispered. This isn't real. It can't be. Rowan's voice was tight, careful. McKenna, I buried my child 2 years ago, she said, voice cracking. I held him. I said goodbye. I watched them lower him into the ground. Her breath came in short, sharp gasps. This isn't possible. Rowan leaned forward, his eyes locked on hers. What if you buried someone else's baby? The words hit her like a sledgehammer. McKenna's head snapped up. What? What if, Rowan said slowly, someone switched the babies at birth? Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. The SUV felt like it was spinning. That's insane, she whispered. Why would anyone do that? Rowan's jaw tightened. I don't know yet. But this file didn't appear out of nowhere. Someone wanted me to find it. McKenna looked down at Elias, his tiny face, his soft breathing, the way his fingers curled around her shirt. Her heart twisted so hard she thought it might break. You're saying... Her voice barely came out. You're saying this baby is mine? Rowan nodded slowly. I think so. Tears burned her eyes. But I mourned him. I cried every night for 2 years. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I wanted to die with him. What would you do if everything you mourned was a lie? Rowan's expression softened with something close to pain. I'm sorry. I can't imagine what you're feeling right now. McKenna shook her head, tears streaming down her face. How is this possible? How could they do this? I don't know, Rowan said, but we're going to find out. She looked at the birth certificate again. Her name. Rowan's name. Elias's name. Why does it say you're the father? She asked. Rowan hesitated. I don't know that either. I've never seen you before 3 hours ago. Then none of this makes sense. No, Rowan agreed. It doesn't. McKenna's hands shook. She pulled Elias closer, pressing her face against his soft hair. Her son. Her baby. Alive. The grief she'd carried for 2 years suddenly felt like it was choking her. I thought I lost him, she whispered. I thought he was gone forever. Rowan reached out, hesitating, then gently placed a hand on her shoulder. He's here now, and we're going to keep him safe. McKenna nodded, unable to speak. The SUV slowed. One of the guards turned around. We're here, sir. Rowan glanced out the window. They'd pulled into an underground parking garage. Dark. Empty. Where's here? McKenna asked. A safe house, Rowan said. No one knows about it except a few people I trust. McKenna clutched Elias tighter. And you're sure we're safe? Rowan's eyes darkened. As sure as I can be. The SUV stopped. The guard stepped out first, scanning the area. Rowan opened the door and gestured for McKenna to follow. She slid out carefully, shielding Elias from the cold air. The garage was silent. Too silent. McKenna's skin prickled. Rowan, she whispered. Something feels wrong. He turned, eyes sharp. What do you mean? Before she could answer, a sound echoed through the garage. Slow. Deliberate. Footsteps. The guards drew their weapons instantly. Rowan stepped in front of McKenna, blocking her and Elias. Who's there? One of the guards shouted. The footsteps stopped. Then a voice cut through the darkness. Cold. Calm. Female. I see you found the truth, Rowan. McKenna's blood turned to ice. A figure stepped out from behind one of the concrete pillars. A woman. Tall. Elegant. Dressed in white. Her face was beautiful. Sharp. Familiar. Rowan's entire body went rigid. Mila, he said, voice low and dangerous. The woman smiled. Slow. Cruel. Hello, brother. McKenna's heart slammed against her ribs. Who is she? Rowan didn't take his eyes off the woman. My half-sister. Mila tilted her head, her smile widening. And the person who's been waiting for you to figure it all out. The guards raised their weapons. Mila didn't flinch. She just stood there, hands folded in front of her, looking completely at ease. Lower your guns, she said softly, or I'll make sure none of you leave this garage alive. Rowan's jaw clenched. What do you want? Mila's eyes shifted to McKenna, then to Elias. Her smile turned sharp. I want what's mine, she said. McKenna pulled Elias closer. He's not yours. Mila laughed, soft, bitter. Oh, sweetheart, she said. You have no idea what he is. She took a step forward. The guard shifted, fingers on triggers. Rowan raised a hand. Don't. Mila stopped. Smart boy. Why are you here, Mila? Rowan demanded. She smiled again. To finish what I started 2 years ago. McKenna's breath caught. 2 years ago. The same time her baby died. You, McKenna whispered. You did this. Mila's eyes gleamed. I did what needed to be done. Rowan stepped forward, fury radiating off him. What the hell are you talking about? Mila's expression didn't change. Oh, Rowan, you really don't know, do you? Know what? Mila's smile faded. Her voice dropped. That baby, she said, pointing at Elias, was never supposed to be yours. What do you mean he was never supposed to be mine? Rowan's voice was sharp, deadly. Mila stepped closer, her white coat flowing like a ghost in the dim light. Exactly what I said, she replied. That baby was part of a transaction. A necessary exchange. McKenna felt her stomach turn. Exchange? Mila's eyes flicked toward her, cold, calculating. Your father was a problem, Mila said. He refused to cooperate with our family's business dealings. He had information that could have destroyed us. McKenna's breath caught. My father? Yes, Mila said simply. So we needed leverage. The word hung in the air like poison. Rowan stepped forward. You took her child as leverage? Mila shrugged. Not just took, replaced. McKenna felt the world tilt. Replaced? She whispered. Mila smiled. It was the cruelest thing McKenna had ever seen. Your healthy baby, Mila said slowly, for another woman's dying one. The words slammed into McKenna like a fist. Her knees buckled. Rowan caught her arm, steadying her. You're lying, McKenna choked out. Am I? Mila tilted her head. You buried a baby, didn't you? You watched him die in your arms. Tears blurred McKenna's vision. He was sick. The doctor said what we paid them to say. Mila cut in. That baby was already dying. We just gave him to you instead. McKenna's entire body shook. You let me bury someone else's child? It was cleaner that way, Mila said. Less questions. Less noise. Rage exploded in McKenna's chest, hot, blinding. You stole my baby, she said, voice trembling. You let me grieve for 2 years. You watched me break. Mila's expression didn't change. I did what I had to do. Some people steal lives like it's business. Would you stay silent? Rowan's hand clenched into a fist. Why didn't you tell me? Mila turned to him. Because you were never supposed to know. Father wanted it buried. Forgotten. So you just gave Elias to me? Rowan demanded. Pretended he was mine? He is yours, Mila said. Legally. Biologically, though. She glanced at McKenna. Well, that's a different story. McKenna held Elias tighter. Her son. Her real son. Why? She whispered. Why go through all this? Mila's smile faded. Her voice turned cold. Because your father thought he could expose us. He thought he could take down the Hale Empire with whatever dirt he'd collected. So you punished me instead, McKenna said. I neutralized the threat, Mila corrected. Your father backed down the moment he realized what we'd taken from you. McKenna's heart shattered all over again. Her father had known. He'd known she was mourning the wrong child, and he'd said nothing. Where is my father now? McKenna asked, voice hollow. Mila's smile returned. Dead. The word echoed through the garage. McKenna's breath stopped. You killed him. No, Mila said. He killed himself. Guilt, I assume. McKenna's vision blurred. Her entire world was collapsing. Rowan's voice cut through the haze. You're done, Mila. Mila laughed. Am I? She reached into her coat pocket. The guards tensed. She pulled out a small remote. Rowan's eyes widened. What is that? Mila's smile turned sharp. Insurance. She pressed a button. A loud metallic clang echoed through the garage. The overhead doors slammed shut. Every exit, every entrance, sealed. The lights flickered. Mila's voice dropped to a whisper. No one leaves until I get what I came for. Rowan stepped in front of McKenna and Elias. You're not taking him. Oh, Rowan, Mila said softly. You really think you can stop me? She pressed another button. Red lights flashed along the walls. A mechanical hum filled the air. McKenna's heart raced. What is that? Mila's eyes gleamed. Lockdown protocol. The entire building is sealed. No calls in, no calls out. No one can help you. Rowan's jaw clenched. You planned this. Of course I did, Mila said. I've been planning this for 2 years. The guards raised their weapons. Mila didn't even blink. Put your guns down, she said calmly, or I'll flood this garage with gas. One of the guards hesitated. She's bluffing. Mila pressed another button. A soft hissing sound filled the air. McKenna's eyes burned. Rowan. She's not bluffing, Rowan said through gritted teeth. He turned to the guards. Lower your weapons. They hesitated. Now, Rowan ordered. Slowly they lowered their guns. Mila smiled. Good boys. She stepped closer, her eyes locked on Elias. Now, she said softly. Hand over the baby. McKenna pulled Elias tighter against her chest. No. Mila's smile faded. You don't have a choice. Yes, I do, McKenna said, voice shaking but firm. He's my son, and I won't let you take him again. Mila's expression darkened. Then you'll die with him. She raised the remote. Rowan lunged forward. Mila, don't... But before he could reach her, Mila pressed the button. The hissing grew louder. McKenna's vision blurred. Elias started crying, and the world went dark. McKenna gasped for air. The gas was thin, almost invisible, but it burned her throat with every breath. Elias screamed in her arms. Rowan, she choked out. He was already moving. He grabbed her arm, pulling her toward the nearest pillar for cover. Don't breathe it in, he said, ripping off his jacket and pressing it over her nose and mouth. "Hold this." McKenna pressed the jacket to her face, trying to shield Elias at the same time. The guards scattered, coughing, eyes watering. Mila stood in the center of the garage, calm, untouched, like she was immune to her own poison. "Last chance, Rowan," she called out. "Give me the air." Rowan's voice was steel. "He's not an heir. He's a child." Mila's expression hardened. "He's a Hale. That's all that matters." McKenna's chest burned, her vision blurred, but she forced herself to stand. "I am his mother," she said, voice shaking but loud. Mila turned to her. "Biology is irrelevant." "Not to me," McKenna shot back. Mila's eyes narrowed. "You're a maid. You have no claim to this child." "I carried him," McKenna said. "I gave birth to him. You stole him from me." "And I'll do it again if I have to," Mila said coldly. "When you have nothing left to lose, you fight with everything." McKenna stepped forward, clutching Elias tighter. "Then you'll have to kill me first." Mila's smile faded. "If that's what it takes." She raised the remote again. Rowan lunged. "Mila, stop!" But before she could press the button, one of the guards fired. The shot echoed like thunder. Mila dove behind a pillar, the remote skittering across the concrete floor. Chaos erupted. Gunfire exploded from every direction. Rowan grabbed McKenna, pulling her down behind a car. "Stay low!" McKenna curled over Elias, shielding him with her entire body. His cries were drowned out by the gunfire. "We have to get out of here!" she screamed. "I know!" Rowan yelled back. One of the guards, a tall man with a scar across his jaw, sprinted toward them. His name tag read, Valor. "Sir," he shouted, "there's an emergency exit on the east side. I can get you there." Rowan nodded. "Do it." Valor fired twice, clearing the path ahead. "Move. Now." Rowan pulled McKenna to her feet. They ran, ducking behind cars as bullets ricocheted off metal. McKenna's legs burned, her lungs screamed for clean air, but she didn't stop. Elias's cries cut through the noise, and it broke something inside her. "I've got you, baby," she whispered. "Mama's got you." Valor reached the exit door first. He slammed his hand against the emergency release. Nothing happened. He hit it again. "It's locked." "Override it," Rowan shouted. Valor pulled out a key card, swiping it frantically. The door beeped once, twice, then it clicked open. "Go," Valor yelled. Rowan shoved McKenna through first. She stumbled into a narrow hallway, gasping for air. Rowan followed. Valor slammed the door shut behind them. For a moment, everything was silent, just their heavy breathing, Elias's soft whimpers. Then footsteps echoed from the other side of the door, slow, deliberate. "She's coming," Valor said. "How far to the exit?" Rowan asked. 50 yards, Valor said. "But there's another checkpoint. Can you get us through?" Valor hesitated. "Maybe." "That's not good enough," Rowan said. "It's all we have, sir." McKenna looked down at Elias. His face was red from crying. His little fists clutched her shirt. "We have to try," she said softly. Rowan looked at her, then at Elias. His jaw tightened. "Let's move." They ran down the hallway. The walls were bare concrete, no windows, no side exits, just one way forward. McKenna's heart pounded in her chest. Behind them, the door exploded open. Mila's voice echoed down the hall. "You can't run forever, Rowan." Valor fired over his shoulder without looking back. Faster. They reached the checkpoint. A metal gate blocked the way. Valor swiped his card again. The screen flashed red. "No," he muttered. "No, no, no." "What's wrong?" Rowan demanded. "She locked me out," Valor said. "I don't have clearance anymore." McKenna's stomach dropped. "What does that mean?" "It means we're trapped," Valor said. Rowan stepped forward, examining the gate. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Valor said. Footsteps grew louder behind them. Mila was close now. Makina pressed her back against the wall, holding Elias tight. "Rowan," she whispered, "what do we do?" He looked at her, and for the first time she saw something she hadn't seen before. Fear. But then his expression changed. He turned to Valor. "Can you shoot the lock?" Valor's eyes widened. "That could trigger an alarm. We're already out of options," Rowan said. Valor hesitated. Then he raised his gun. He fired 3 times. The lock shattered. The gate swung open. "Go!" Valor shouted. They ran through the gate into a stairwell. Up. They had to go up. Makina's legs screamed. Her arms ached from holding Elias, but she didn't stop. They burst through a door at the top of the stairs. Fresh air hit her like a wave. They were outside, a rooftop, and waiting at the edge was a black helicopter, rotors already spinning. Valor pointed. "There, that's our way out." They sprinted toward it. Makina could see the pilot waving them forward, almost there, almost safe. Then a gunshot rang out. Valor stumbled. He hit the ground hard. "Valor!" Rowan shouted. Makina turned. Mila stood in the doorway, gun raised, smiling. "I told you," she said. "You can't run forever." Rowan didn't think. He threw himself in front of Makina and Elias just as Mila fired again. The bullet grazed his shoulder. He grunted, but didn't fall. "Get to the helicopter," he shouted. Makina ran, clutching Elias so tight she was afraid she'd hurt him. But she couldn't let go. The pilot waved frantically. "Hurry!" Makina reached the helicopter first. Strong hands pulled her inside. Rowan was right behind her. He dove through the door, blood streaking his shirt. "Go, go!" he yelled. The helicopter lifted. Mila fired again. The bullet pinged off the metal frame. They rose higher, higher, until the rooftop became a blur below them. Makina collapsed against the seat, gasping for air. Elias screamed in her arms, terrified. "It's okay, baby," she whispered, rocking him. "Mama's here. Mama's got you." Rowan turned his head sharply, his eyes locked on hers. Something broke in his expression, something raw and painful. He'd heard her call herself Mama, and it destroyed him in the best way. "You're bleeding," Makina said, noticing the blood soaking through his shirt. "I'm fine," Rowan said, though his voice was tight. "You're not fine," she insisted. The pilot glanced back. "We need to land somewhere safe." "Where to, sir?" Rowan hesitated. "There's a private airstrip 20 miles north. We'll take the jet from there." "Copy that," the pilot said. Makina looked out the window. The city lights spread out below them like stars. "Is she following us?" she asked. Rowan leaned forward, checking the radar. "Not yet. But she will." "How do you know?" "Because she's Mila," Rowan said. "She doesn't give up." Makina's hand shook as she rocked Elias. His cries had softened into quiet whimpers. "Why does she want him so badly?" she asked. Rowan's jaw tightened. "Because he's a Hale, and in my family that means everything." "But he's not just a Hale," Makina said. "He's mine." Rowan looked at her. "I know." The helicopter began its descent. The airstrip came into view, small, remote, surrounded by empty fields. They landed hard. The door flew open. Valor was already there, limping but alive. Blood stained his leg. "You made it," Rowan said, relieved. "Barely," Valor muttered. "Let's not do that again." They hurried across the tarmac toward a sleek black SUV waiting near the hangar. Makina slid into the back seat, still holding Elias. Rowan climbed in beside her. Valor took the driver's seat. The engine roared to life. They tore down the runway, leaving the helicopter behind. "Where are we going?" Makina asked. "Somewhere Mila doesn't know about," Rowan said. "And where's that?" "You'll see." The SUV sped through empty roads. No other cars, no lights, just darkness. McKenna rocked Elias, humming softly. It's okay, baby. Mama's here. Rowan watched her. His chest tightened. Love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice you make in the fire, and he was choosing now. You're good with him, Rowan said quietly. McKenna glanced at him. He's my son. I know. She paused. Do you believe me now? That he's mine? Rowan nodded. I've believed you since the moment you held him on the plane. I just didn't understand why. McKenna's eyes filled with tears. I thought I'd lost him forever. You didn't, Rowan said. He's here, and I'm going to make sure he stays safe. Why? McKenna asked. Why are you helping me? Rowan looked at Elias, then back at her. Because it's the right thing to do. Valor's voice cut through the moment. We've got company. McKenna's heart dropped. What? Valor checked the rearview mirror. 2 vehicles, black SUVs, coming up fast. Rowan cursed under his breath. How did they find us? Tracker, Valor said. They must have planted one on the helicopter. Can you lose them? Rowan asked. Valor pressed the gas harder. I can try. The SUV lurched forward, speeding down the narrow road. McKenna held Elias tighter. Rowan, I know, he said, reaching over to steady her. Just hold on. The vehicles behind them sped up, closer, closer. Then one of them rammed into the back of their SUV. The impact threw McKenna forward. She screamed, curling over Elias to protect him. Rowan grabbed her arm, pulling her back. I've got you. Valor swerved, trying to shake them off. But the other vehicle rammed them again. Harder this time. The SUV skidded sideways. McKenna's vision blurred. Elias cried louder. They're trying to flip us, Valor shouted. Rowan turned to McKenna, his eyes fierce. No matter what happens, don't let go of him. I won't, she said, voice shaking. Another hit. The SUV spun. Tires screeched. Metal groaned. And then they flipped. The world turned upside down. Glass shattered. Everything went black. When McKenna opened her eyes, she was hanging upside down, still strapped into her seat. Elias was crying, but he was alive. Rowan, she whispered. No answer. Rowan! She turned her head, panic rising. He was slumped against the door, blood dripping from his forehead. Not moving. Rowan! McKenna's voice cracked with terror. He didn't move. Blood dripped from his forehead onto the shattered glass below. Elias screamed in her arms, and the sound jolted her into action. She fumbled with her seatbelt, fingers shaking. It clicked open, and she dropped, landing hard on the roof of the overturned SUV. Pain shot through her shoulder, but she didn't care. She crawled toward Rowan, still clutching Elias against her chest. Rowan, please, she whispered. Please, wake up. She reached him, pressing her fingers to his neck. A pulse. Weak. But there. Thank God, she breathed. She shook him gently. Rowan, can you hear me? His eyelids fluttered. Rowan. His eyes opened slowly, unfocused, confused. McKenna? His voice was rough. I'm here, she said, tears streaming down her face. We're okay. Elias is okay? Rowan's gaze shifted to the baby in her arms. His face crumpled with relief. He's alive, Rowan whispered. We all are, McKenna said. Sometimes surviving isn't enough. You need someone worth surviving for. Rowan reached up, touching Elias's tiny hand. The baby's fingers wrapped around his. And Rowan broke. A sob tore from his chest. Raw. Unguarded. He pulled both of them closer, wrapping his arms around McKenna and Elias like he'd never let go. I thought I lost you, he whispered into her hair. I thought, we're here, McKenna said softly. We're right here. For a moment, they just stayed like that. Broken. Bleeding. But together. Then Valor's voice cut through. Sir, we need to move. Rowan pulled back, wiping his eyes quickly. He crawled toward the front of the SUV where Valor was trying to kick out the windshield. You okay? Rowan asked. Valor grunted. I've been worse. The windshield shattered under his boot. They climbed out into the cold night air. McKenna stood, legs shaking, still holding Elias. The SUV was completely destroyed. Smoke poured from the engine. "How far behind are they?" Rowan asked. Valor pointed. In the distance, headlights appeared. 2 minutes, Valor said. Maybe less. Rowan scanned the area. They were surrounded by dense forest. No roads, no lights. "We go on foot," he said. "With a baby?" Valor asked. "We don't have a choice," Rowan said. He turned to McKenna. "Can you run?" She nodded, though her entire body ached. "I'll do whatever it takes." Rowan took off his jacket and wrapped it around Elias, shielding him from the cold. "Stay close to me," he said. "Don't stop for anything." They ran into the forest. The ground was uneven. Roots caught at their feet. Branches whipped their faces, but they didn't stop. Behind them, car doors slammed. Voices shouted. "They're following us," Valor said. "How far to the safe house?" McKenna gasped. 2 miles, Rowan said. "Through the forest." McKenna's lungs burned. Her arms ached from carrying Elias, but she kept moving, because stopping meant dying, and she wasn't going to let that happen, not to her son. Rowan stayed beside her the entire time. When she stumbled, he caught her. When she slowed, he urged her forward. "You're doing great," he said. "Just a little farther." Flashlights swept through the trees behind them. "They're getting closer," Valor warned. Rowan grabbed McKenna's hand. "This way." He led them off the main path, deeper into the forest. The voices behind them grew louder. McKenna's heart pounded so hard she thought it would burst. Elias whimpered against her chest. "Shh, baby," she whispered. "Please don't cry. Please." Rowan stopped suddenly. Ahead of them was a small clearing, and in the center stood a cabin. Old, hidden, almost invisible under the overgrown vines. "That's it," Rowan said. They sprinted toward it. Rowan pulled a key card from his pocket and pressed it against a hidden panel. The door clicked open. They stumbled inside. Valor slammed the door shut, locking it behind them. For a moment they just stood there, gasping, bleeding, exhausted. McKenna sank onto a dusty couch, still holding Elias. Rowan knelt in front of her, checking her over. "Are you hurt?" "I'm fine," she said, though she wasn't sure that was true. "Let me see him," Rowan said softly. McKenna unwrapped the jacket. Elias looked up at them with wide, scared eyes, but he was okay. Not a scratch. Rowan exhaled shakily. "He's perfect." McKenna nodded, tears spilling over. "He's perfect." Rowan reached up, brushing a tear from her cheek. "You saved him." "We saved him," McKenna corrected. Rowan's hand lingered on her face. His eyes searched hers. "McKenna." Before he could finish, Valor called out from the window. "Sir, we've got a problem." Rowan stood, moving to the window. Outside, flashlights bobbed through the trees, getting closer. "They found us," Valor said. Rowan cursed under his breath. McKenna's stomach dropped. "How is that possible?" "I don't know," Rowan said, "but we can't stay here." "Where do we go?" McKenna asked. Rowan turned to her. "There's a basement. My father built it as an emergency exit. It leads to a tunnel." "Where does the tunnel go?" "To the river," Rowan said. "From there we can—" A loud bang echoed through the cabin. Someone was trying to break down the door. "Go!" Valor shouted. "I'll hold them off." "No," Rowan said. "I'm not leaving you." "You don't have a choice, sir," Valor said. "That baby needs you. She needs you." Another bang. The door cracked. Rowan hesitated. Then he grabbed McKenna's hand. "Let's go." They ran to the basement door. Rowan yanked. It opened, revealing stairs leading down into darkness. "Hurry," he said. McKenna descended carefully, clutching Elias. Rowan followed, pulling the door shut behind them. The basement was cold, damp, empty, except for one thing, a metal hatch in the floor. Rowan knelt, pulling it open. A tunnel stretched out below them, dark, endless. "This leads out?" McKenna asked. "It should," Rowan said. Above them, the door exploded open. Footsteps thundered through the cabin. "Down," Rowan whispered urgently. "Now." McKenna climbed into the tunnel, Elias pressed tight against her chest. Rowan followed, pulling the hatch shut above them. They were swallowed by darkness. And somewhere above, Mila's voice echoed. "Find them." The tunnel was suffocating. Narrow. Cold. The walls pressed in on both sides. McKenna could barely see her own hands in the darkness. She kept one arm wrapped around Elias, the other stretched out, feeling her way forward. "Stay close," Rowan whispered behind her. "I can't see anything," McKenna said, voice shaking. "Just keep moving. The exit isn't far." But every step felt like a mile. Water dripped somewhere in the distance. The air smelled like dirt and rust. Elias whimpered softly against her chest. "It's okay, baby," McKenna whispered. "We're almost out." She hoped that was true. Finally, a faint light appeared ahead, moonlight filtering through cracks. "There," Rowan said, relief flooding his voice. They reached a metal ladder leading upward. Rowan climbed first, pushing open a rusted hatch. Fresh air rushed in. He pulled himself out, then reached down for McKenna. "Give me your hand." She shifted Elias carefully and grabbed Rowan's hand. He pulled her up with surprising strength, despite his injuries. They emerged into another part of the forest. Darker, deeper. Moonlight barely broke through the thick canopy above. McKenna stumbled, her legs finally giving out. Rowan caught her before she hit the ground. "I've got you," he said softly. "I can walk," she insisted, though her voice betrayed her exhaustion. "No, you can't." Before she could argue, Rowan scooped her into his arms. Elias nestled between them. "Rowan, you're hurt." "I'm fine," he said firmly. "Just hold on to him." McKenna didn't have the strength to argue. She let her head rest against his shoulder. The people who save us are rarely the ones we expect. They moved through the forest in silence. Every crack of a branch made McKenna flinch. "How much farther?" she whispered. "Not far," Rowan said. "There's another safe house. Deeper in the woods." "Another one?" "My father didn't believe in trust," Rowan said. "He built escape routes everywhere." McKenna looked up at him. "Why?" Rowan's jaw tightened. "Because he knew what our family was capable of." "What do you mean?" "The Hale Empire wasn't built on honesty," Rowan said quietly. "It was built on secrets. Lies. Deals that destroyed people." McKenna's chest tightened. "And you knew?" "Not until it was too late," Rowan said. "By the time I understood what my father really was, I was already part of it." "But you're not like him," McKenna said. Rowan looked down at her. "How do you know?" "Because you're here," she said. "Carrying me. Protecting Elias. That's not what a monster does." Rowan's expression softened. "Maybe." They walked in silence for a while longer. Then Rowan spoke again. "My father used to say the only person you can trust is yourself. He taught me that from the time I was old enough to understand." "That's a sad way to live," McKenna said. "It kept him alive," Rowan said. "Until it didn't." McKenna frowned. "What happened to him?" "Heart attack," Rowan said. "At least that's what they told me." "You don't believe it?" Rowan hesitated. "I don't know what to believe anymore." The forest began to thin. Ahead, barely visible through the trees, was another structure, a cabin. Smaller than the last one, almost hidden under vines and moss. "There," Rowan said. He set McKenna down gently. "Can you walk now?" She nodded, though her legs still shook. They approached the cabin slowly. Rowan pulled out another key card, pressing it against a hidden panel near the door. Nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. What's wrong? Makina asked. I don't know, Rowan muttered. It should work. He pressed his palm against the panel instead. A soft beep. The locks clicked open. Handprint override, Rowan said, in case the card failed. They stepped inside. The cabin was dark, dusty, clearly abandoned for years, but it was shelter. Rowan found a lantern and lit it. Warm light filled the space. Makina sank onto an old couch, exhausted. Elias had finally fallen asleep against her chest. We're safe here? She asked. For now, Rowan said. No one knows about this place except me. Makina looked around. Not even Mila? Especially not Mila, Rowan said. He moved to the window, checking outside. The forest was still, silent. Makina watched him. His shoulders were tense, his jaw set. Rowan, she said softly. He turned. Thank you, she said, for everything. Rowan's expression softened. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do, Makina said. You could have left us. You could have handed Elias to Mila and walked away. No, Rowan said firmly. I couldn't. Why not? Rowan looked at Elias, then at her. Because he's yours, Rowan said simply. And you're... He trailed off. I'm what? Makina asked. Before Rowan could answer, a sound cut through the silence. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. Outside. Rowan's entire body went rigid. He grabbed a gun from a hidden compartment in the wall. Stay down, he whispered. Makina pressed herself against the couch, holding Elias tight. The footsteps stopped. Right outside the door. Rowan aimed the gun at the entrance. The door creaked open. A figure stepped inside, covered in blood, white coat torn and stained. Makina's breath caught. It was Mila, but she wasn't holding a weapon. She was holding her side, blood seeping through her fingers. She looked at Rowan with hollow eyes and whispered, They're coming for all of us. Mila collapsed against the doorframe, her white coat soaked crimson. Blood dripped onto the wooden floor. Rowan kept the gun aimed at her. Don't move. Mila laughed weakly. I'm not exactly in a position to threaten anyone, brother. What happened to you? Rowan demanded. What do you think happened? Mila said, pressing harder against her side. They turned on me. Makina stood slowly, still clutching Elias. Who turned on you? Mila's eyes shifted to her, cold, calculating. Even wounded, she looked dangerous. The same people who wanted that baby in the first place, Mila said. Rowan stepped closer. Father's men? Mila nodded. Turns out loyalty only lasts as long as you're useful. She pushed herself upright, wincing. Blood stained the floor where she'd been standing. Why are you here? Rowan asked. Mila's expression hardened. Because I need that child. No, Makina said immediately. Mila's gaze locked on her. You think you have a choice? He's my son, Makina said, voice trembling but firm. I'm not giving him to you. Mila took a step forward. Rowan blocked her path. Stop, he said. Mila smiled bitterly. Always the hero, Rowan, even when it costs you everything. What do you want, Mila? I want what's mine, Mila said. Elias isn't yours, Makina said. Mila's smile faded. He's a Hale. That makes him mine by blood. Blood doesn't make you a mother, Makina shot back. I carried him. I gave birth to him. You stole him from me. Mila's jaw tightened. I did what needed to be done. You destroyed my life, Makina said, stepping forward. You let me bury a baby that wasn't mine. You let me grieve for 2 years. And you survived, Mila said coldly. Which is more than most people can say. Makina's eyes filled with tears. You're a monster. Something flickered in Mila's expression. Pain, anger, regret. But it disappeared quickly. Maybe I am, Mila said, but at least I'm honest about it. Rowan lowered the gun slightly. Mila, you don't have to do this. Yes, I do, Mila said. If I don't bring that child back, they'll kill me. Then run, Rowan said. Disappear. Start over. Mila laughed bitterly. You think it's that simple? You think I can just walk away from this family? I did, Rowan said. Mila's eyes flashed. You had a choice. I never did. The words hung heavy in the air. McKenna watched Mila closely. Beneath the coldness, beneath the cruelty, she saw something else. Fear. You're scared, McKenna said softly. Mila stiffened. I'm not. You are, McKenna interrupted. You're terrified, because you know they'll kill you if you fail. Mila's hand trembled against her wound. So give me the baby, she said, voice cracking, and I'll let you both walk away. No, McKenna said. Mila reached into her coat. Rowan raised the gun instantly. Don't. Mila pulled out a pistol, smaller than Rowan's, but deadly. She aimed it at McKenna. I'm not asking, Mila said. McKenna's heart slammed against her ribs, but she didn't move. You won't shoot me, McKenna said. Try me, Mila said. Elias stirred in McKenna's arms. He began to cry, soft at first, then louder. Mila's hand shook. Her eyes flickered toward the baby. Give him to me, she whispered. No. McKenna, Rowan said carefully. Let me handle this. No, McKenna repeated, louder this time. She needs to hear this. She looked Mila straight in the eyes. You can shoot me if you want, McKenna said, but it won't change anything. He'll still be my son, and you'll still be alone. Mila's face crumpled for just a second. Then she hardened again. You think you're better than me? Mila said, voice shaking. You think because you're his mother, that makes you special? No, McKenna said. I think I'm broken. Just like you. Mila blinked, thrown off balance. The difference, McKenna continued, is that I'm choosing to protect him, not use him. Mila's breathing became ragged. You don't understand. You don't know what they'll do to me. Then let us help you, Rowan said. Mila shook her head. It's too late for that. She steadied the gun, aimed directly at McKenna's chest. Make your choice, Rowan, Mila said. Her or the boy. Rowan stepped between them. Mila, don't do this. Move, Mila said. No. Move, she screamed. Tears streamed down her face. Her hand shook violently, but she cocked the gun, finger on the trigger. I'm sorry, she whispered. And then a gunshot exploded through the cabin. The bullet hit the ceiling. Wood splintered. Dust rained down. Rowan lunged forward, tackling Mila to the ground. The gun flew from her hand, skidding across the floor. McKenna screamed, clutching Elias tighter. Rowan! But he didn't stop. He pinned Mila down, breathing hard. It's over, he said. Mila struggled beneath him. Let me go. No, Rowan said. Not until you calm down. The door burst open. Valor stumbled in, gun raised, blood soaking through his pants. I heard a shot, he said, scanning the room. It's okay, Rowan said. She missed. Valor limped forward. Step aside, sir. I'll handle her. He aimed his gun at Mila's head. No, McKenna shouted. Everyone froze. McKenna stepped forward, still holding Elias. Don't kill her. Valor frowned. Ma'am, she just tried to shoot you. I know, McKenna said, but killing her won't fix anything. Rowan looked up at her, stunned. McKenna, let me talk to her, McKenna said. Are you crazy? Valor said. Maybe, McKenna admitted, but I need to try. Rowan hesitated, then slowly he stood, pulling Mila up with him. Mila swayed on her feet, blood still seeping from her side. McKenna approached carefully. Elias had stopped crying, as if sensing the shift in the room. Mila, McKenna said softly. Mila wouldn't look at her. What? Why are you really here? Mila's jaw tightened. I told you. I need the baby. No, McKenna said. That's what you think you need. but it's not the truth. Mila's eyes snapped up. You don't know anything about me. I know you're scared, McKenna said. I know you're alone, and I know you've spent your entire life trying to prove you're worth something. Mila's breath hitched. I see you, McKenna continued. A little girl who was never loved right. Mila's face crumbled, just for a second. Stop, she whispered. I won't, McKenna said, because someone needs to say it. Tears welled in Mila's eyes. You don't understand. Our father, he didn't know how to love anyone. He only knew how to use people. And he used you the most, McKenna said softly. Mila's shoulders shook. I did everything he asked. Everything. And it was never enough. Rowan stepped closer. Mila. He loved you, Rowan, Mila said, voice breaking. He always loved you more. Because you were his son. His heir. I was just a tool. Rowan's expression twisted with pain. That's not true. Yes, it is, Mila said, and you know it. Silence filled the cabin. McKenna's chest ached watching Mila unravel. You don't have to keep doing this, McKenna said gently. You don't have to keep hurting people to feel like you matter. I don't know any other way, Mila whispered. Then learn, McKenna said. Start now. Right here. Mila looked at her. Really looked at her. You would forgive me? Mila asked, voice cracking. After everything I did? McKenna's eyes filled with tears. I don't know if I can forgive you, but I can choose not to hate you. Mila's gun lay on the floor between them. Neither of them moved toward it. Mila, Rowan said quietly. You can still choose something different. Mila's hands trembled, her entire body shook. I don't know how to stop, she whispered. A tear slid down her cheek, then another. Then she collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Raw, broken, human. McKenna knelt beside her, still holding Elias. It's okay, McKenna said softly. You don't have to be strong right now. Mila buried her face in her hands. I'm so tired. I know, McKenna said. Rowan crouched down too. He placed a hand on Mila's shoulder. We'll figure this out, he said. Together. Mila looked up at him through tears. How? I don't know yet, Rowan admitted. But we will. For a moment, there was peace. Then Elias reached out his tiny hand toward Mila. Mila stared at him, shocked. He's reaching for me, she whispered. He doesn't hate you, McKenna said. He doesn't know how. Mila's face twisted with emotion. She lifted a shaking hand toward Elias. Her fingers brushed his. And she broke completely. Sobs tore from her chest. Years of pain. Years of loneliness. All pouring out at once. McKenna let her cry. Rowan stayed beside her. And for the first time, Mila wasn't the villain. She was just a woman who'd been broken too many times. But then, a sound outside. Engines. Multiple engines. Valor moved to the window. His face went pale. Sir, he said urgently. We've got company. Rowan stood. How many? At least 6 vehicles, Valor said. Armed men. Surrounding the cabin. McKenna's blood turned to ice. Mila looked up, terror flooding her face. They found us, she whispered. A voice boomed through a megaphone outside. Rowan Hale, come out with the child, or we burn the cabin down. We have 2 minutes, the voice outside boomed. Then we light it up. Mila staggered to her feet, clutching her wound. They'll kill all of us. Not if we give them what they want, Rowan said. No, McKenna said immediately. We're not giving them Elias. Rowan turned to her. I wasn't talking about Elias. Mila's eyes widened. Rowan, don't. They want a Hale heir, Rowan said. I'll go out there. I'll negotiate. They'll shoot you on sight, Valor said. Maybe, Rowan admitted, but it'll buy you time to escape. No, McKenna said, grabbing his arm. I'm not letting you sacrifice yourself. Rowan cupped her face gently. "Makina, if anything happens to you or Elias, I'll never forgive myself." Tears filled her eyes. "And if anything happens to you, I'll never forgive myself either." The moment stretched between them. Raw. Real. Mila watched them, something breaking inside her chest. "There's another way," she said quietly. Everyone turned. "What way?" Rowan asked. Mila wiped her tears, straightening despite the pain. "They want proof the baby's secure. They want proof the Hale line continues." "And?" Rowan said. "Let me go out there," Mila said. "You?" Makina said. Mila nodded. "They think I'm still loyal. They think I'm still working for them." "Are you?" Valor asked suspiciously. Mila looked at Elias, then at Makina, then at Rowan. "No," she said. "Not anymore." Rowan frowned. "What are you planning?" "I'll tell them I have the baby," Mila said, "that I've secured him, that you're dead." "They won't believe you without proof," Valor said. "Then I'll give them proof," Mila said. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a blood-stained handkerchief. "Tell them this is Rowan's blood, that he fought back and I killed him." Rowan's jaw tightened. "And then what?" "Then they leave," Mila said, "and you three disappear." Makina stepped closer. "Why would you do this?" Mila's voice cracked. "Because I've spent my whole life being the villain. Maybe it's time I tried being something else." "Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the hardest kind of strength. Don't scroll past this." Rowan stared at his sister. "Mila, if you go out there and they find out you're lying, they'll kill me," Mila finished. "I know." "Then don't do it," Rowan said. Mila smiled sadly. "I have to. It's the only way to make up for what I've done." Makina's throat tightened. "You don't have to die to be forgiven." "Maybe not," Mila said, "but I need to do this anyway." She walked to the door, pausing with her hand on the knob. "Rowan," she said softly, "I'm sorry. For everything." Rowan crossed the room in 2 steps. He pulled her into a hug. Mila stiffened at first. Then she melted into it, sobbing against his chest. "I never hated you," Rowan whispered. "I just didn't know how to reach you." "I know," Mila said. "I didn't make it easy." They pulled apart. Mila wiped her eyes. She turned to Makina. "Take care of him. Both of them." Makina nodded, tears streaming down her face. "I will." Mila reached out, gently touching Elias's cheek one last time. "Be better than us," she whispered to the baby. "Be free." Then she straightened, composing herself. "1 minute," the voice outside shouted. Mila opened the door. "Wait," Rowan said. She turned. "Thank you," Rowan said. Mila smiled. A real smile. Soft. Genuine. "Take care of yourself, brother." She stepped outside. The door closed behind her. Makina held her breath, clutching Elias. Through the window they watched Mila walk toward the armed men. Hands raised, blood-stained, broken, but standing tall. One of the men stepped forward, gun raised. "Where's the baby?" "Safe," Mila said. "Rowan's dead. I took care of it." "Proof," the man demanded. Mila held up the bloody handkerchief. "His blood. He fought back, but it's done." The man studied her, suspicious. "Search the cabin," he ordered. Mila shook her head. "There's nothing left. I burned the bodies." The man narrowed his eyes. "You're lying." "Am I?" Mila said coldly, slipping back into her old self. "Or are you questioning my loyalty?" The man hesitated. Then he lowered his gun. "Fine. But if you're lying, Mila..." "I'm not," she said. The men climbed back into their vehicles. Engines roared to life. They drove away. Inside the cabin, Makina exhaled in relief. "She did it." Rowan stared out the window. "She saved us." Valor limped forward. "We need to move. They could come back." Rowan nodded. "Let's go." But as they gathered their things, a sound echoed from outside. A single gunshot. McKenna's heart stopped. Rowan ran to the window. In the distance, Mila's body lay on the ground. One of the men stood over her, gun still smoking. McKenna covered her mouth, tears spilling over. "No," Rowan whispered. They'd killed her anyway, because that's what the Hale Empire did. It destroyed everyone, even its own. Rowan punched the wall, blood smeared across his knuckles. "She died for nothing," he said, voice breaking. McKenna clutched Elias tighter, tears streaming down her face. "No, she died choosing something better. And it got her killed," Rowan said bitterly. Valor limped to the window, checking the perimeter. "Sir, we need to move. Now." Before they realized she was lying, Rowan turned away from the window, his face hard. "How long do we have?" "Maybe 10 minutes, Valor said. "Maybe less." McKenna looked down at Elias. His innocent eyes stared up at her, unaware of the chaos surrounding him. "Why do they want him so badly?" she asked. "He's just a baby." Rowan's jaw clenched. "Because he's more than that. He's the heir to the Hale Empire." "But the Hale Empire is yours," McKenna said. "Not anymore," Rowan said. "The moment my father died, everything shifted. There are people in the organization who think they can control the next generation, shape it, use it." "Use a child?" McKenna said, horrified. "It's what they do," Rowan said. "Power doesn't care about innocence." Valor interrupted. "Sir, before Mila went out there, she told me something." Rowan turned. "What?" "She said your father's men are still operating," Valor said, "even though he's been dead for 3 years." Rowan frowned. "That's impossible. I dissolved the inner circle after he died." "Did you?" Valor asked. "Or did they just go underground?" The question hung heavy in the air. McKenna stepped forward. "What does that mean?" "It means," Valor said slowly, "that everything you thought you controlled, you never did." Rowan's face paled. "Who's leading them?" "I don't know," Valor said. "But Mila seemed to. She said they've been pulling strings for years, waiting for the right moment." "And Elias is that moment," McKenna said quietly. Valor nodded. "They think he belongs to the legacy, to the bloodline. They don't care who his mother is. They only care about the name." McKenna's stomach twisted. "My father, he knew about this, didn't he?" Rowan met her eyes. "What do you mean?" "Mila said my father was trying to expose your family," McKenna said. "That's why they took Elias. That's why they replaced him with a dying baby." Rowan's expression darkened. "Your father was an investigative journalist." McKenna nodded. "He worked on corruption cases. Government, corporations. He was fearless. And he got too close to the truth," Rowan said. McKenna's voice broke. "So they killed him." "I'm sorry," Rowan said softly. "I didn't know." "Neither did I," McKenna whispered. "I thought he died in a car accident. But it wasn't an accident, was it?" Rowan shook his head. "Probably not." McKenna's hands shook. "They destroyed my family, stole my son. Let me bury someone else's child, all to keep their secret safe." Rowan stepped closer. "McKenna." "No," she said, voice hardening. "They took everything from me, but they're not taking him." She looked down at Elias, determination burning in her chest. "I don't care who they are," she said. "I don't care how powerful they think they are. This ends now." Rowan's eyes softened. "I'm with you." Valor checked his watch. "We need to leave. 5 minutes." "Where do we go?" McKenna asked. Rowan hesitated. "There's one place. A place even my father didn't know about." "Where?" "My mother's house," Rowan said. "She left it to me before she died. It's off the grid, no records, no ties to the Hale name." "Why didn't you mention this before?" Valor asked. "Because I haven't been there in 15 years, Rowan said. "I didn't even know if it still existed." "It's a risk," Valor said. Everything's a risk now, Rowan replied. Makina nodded. Let's go. They moved quickly. Valor gathered supplies. Rowan found a hidden exit in the back of the cabin, but as they reached the door, Makina stopped. Wait, she said. Rowan turned. What's wrong? Makina looked out the window one last time, at the spot where Mila had fallen. She deserved better, Makina said softly. She did, Rowan agreed, and we'll make sure her sacrifice wasn't for nothing. They stepped into the night. The forest was dark, silent, too silent. Valor led the way, gun drawn. Rowan stayed close to Makina, one hand on her back, guiding her. They moved fast, but not fast enough. A sound echoed behind them. Engines, distant, but getting closer. They're coming back, Valor said. How? Rowan said. They left. They must have found Mila's lie, Valor said, or they never believed her in the first place. Makina's heart raced. How much farther? Half a mile, Rowan said. There's a car waiting at the edge of the property. They ran. Branches whipped their faces. Roots tried to trip them. Elias cried softly, bouncing in Makina's arms. It's okay, baby, she whispered. Mama's got you. The engines grew louder. Headlights swept through the trees. They're gaining on us, Valor shouted. Rowan grabbed Makina's hand. Don't stop, no matter what. They burst through the tree line. A black sedan sat waiting, engine running. Get in, Rowan yelled. Makina dove into the back seat. Rowan followed. Valor took the driver's seat and slammed the gas. The car tore down the dirt road. Behind them, 3 SUVs emerged from the forest, chasing them. Hold on, Valor shouted. The car swerved. Makina held Elias tight, curling over him. Rowan turned in his seat, watching the SUVs close the distance. They're not backing off, he said. I know, Valor said through gritted teeth. A gunshot shattered the rear window. Glass exploded. Makina screamed. Rowan shielded her with his body. Drive faster, he yelled. I'm trying, Valor shouted. Another shot. The tire burst. The car spun out of control and slammed into a tree. Makina's ears rang. The airbag had deployed, pressing against her and Elias. She couldn't breathe. Elias, she gasped, frantically checking him. He was crying, loud, terrified, but alive. Rowan, she called out. I'm here, he groaned from the front seat. Valor wasn't moving. Valor, Rowan shook him. Valor, wake up. Blood dripped from Valor's forehead, but his eyes fluttered open. I'm okay, he muttered. The SUV screeched to a stop behind them. Doors slammed. Footsteps approached. Out of the car, a voice commanded. Now, Rowan turned to Makina. Can you move? She nodded, though every part of her body ached. Then run, Rowan said. When I say go, you run into the trees. Don't stop. Don't look back. What about you? Makina asked. I'll be right behind you, Rowan said. But she could see the lie in his eyes. He was going to stay. Buy her time. No, Makina said. We stay together. Makina. Together, she repeated firmly. Rowan's expression softened, then hardened with determination. Fine, he said. Then we all go. Now. He kicked open his door, grabbed Makina's hand, pulled her out of the wreckage. Valor stumbled out behind them. They ran. Gunfire erupted. Bullets tore through the trees around them. Makina screamed, clutching Elias to her chest, shielding him with her entire body. Rowan fired back with a gun he'd taken from Valor. There, Valor pointed ahead. That rock formation. They ran toward it, a massive boulder with a narrow opening at its base. Inside, Rowan shouted. They squeezed through the gap. It was tight, dark, but it led somewhere. A cave. They stumbled deeper inside, gasping for air. Behind them, the voices grew closer. They went in there. Flush them out. Rowan moved to the back of the cave, running his hands along the wall. What are you doing? McKenna asked. My father told me something once, Rowan said. He said he built escape routes everywhere, even in places no one would think to look. You think there's a way out? Valor asked. There has to be, Rowan said. His hand found something, a seam in the rock. He pressed against it. A section of the wall shifted. Behind it was a metal door, old, rusted, but real. Help me, Rowan said. Valor limped over. Together they pulled the door open. Behind it was a tunnel, narrow, dark, leading down into the earth. Where does this go? McKenna asked. Only one way to find out, Rowan said. Footsteps echoed at the cave entrance. Move, Rowan urged. They slipped into the tunnel. Rowan pulled the door shut behind them, plunging them into complete darkness. McKenna's breathing echoed in the confined space. I can't see anything, she whispered. Hold my hand, Rowan said. She reached out. His fingers found hers, warm, strong. I've got you, he said. They moved slowly, carefully. The tunnel sloped downward. Water dripped somewhere ahead. How did your father build this? McKenna asked. He built a lot of things nobody knew about, Rowan said. He didn't trust anyone, not even family. Smart man, Valor muttered. Paranoid man, Rowan corrected. But maybe he had reason to be. They walked for what felt like hours, but was probably only minutes. Finally, the tunnel opened up. A faint light appeared ahead. They emerged into a larger cavern. Water rushed somewhere nearby. A river. There, Valor pointed. An exit. They moved toward it. But halfway across the cavern, Rowan stopped. Wait. He crouched down, examining something on the ground. Footprints. Fresh ones. Someone else has been here, he said. McKenna's blood ran cold. Recently? Rowan nodded. Very. A sound echoed through the cavern. A voice. I was wondering when you'd figure it out. They spun around. A figure stepped out from the shadows. Tall, dressed in black. Face partially obscured by a hood. But when the figure pulled back the hood, McKenna's heart stopped. It was a woman. Mid-50s, sharp features, cold eyes. Hello, Rowan, she said. Rowan's face went white. That's impossible. The woman smiled. Is it? You're dead, Rowan whispered. You died 15 years ago. The woman stepped closer. I let everyone believe that. It was easier. McKenna looked between them. Who is she? Rowan's voice was barely audible. My mother. Your mother? McKenna whispered. But you said, I know what I said. Rowan cut in, his voice shaking. I watched her funeral. I buried her. The woman stepped closer, her footsteps echoing through the cavern. You buried an empty casket, darling, she said. Your father made sure of that. Rowan's hands clenched into fists. Why? Because I knew too much, she said simply. And your father couldn't risk me exposing what the Hale family really was. McKenna held Elias tighter. So you faked your death? The woman's eyes shifted to her, cold, calculating. I didn't fake anything, she said. Your father-in-law tried to kill me. He failed. So I disappeared. For 15 years? Rowan said, anger rising in his voice. You let me think you were dead for 15 years? It was the only way to survive, she said, and to gather enough evidence to destroy him. He's already dead, Rowan said. But his empire isn't, the woman replied, and that's what I've been working to dismantle. Valor stepped forward, gun raised. How do we know you're telling the truth? The woman didn't flinch. You don't. But if I wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. Mom, Rowan said, voice breaking on the word. Why now? Why reveal yourself now? She looked at Elias. Because of him. McKenna instinctively stepped back. He's the key to everything, the woman said. The bloodline, the empire, the power. He's just a baby, McKenna said. No, the woman said. He's a leverage, and every faction in this family will kill to control him. Rowan moved in front of McKenna. Then we disappear. All of us. The woman shook her head. You can't run from this. I've tried for 15 years. They always find you. Then what do we do? Rowan demanded. The woman pulled out a folder from inside her coat. We expose them. All of them. She handed it to Rowan. He opened it. His face paled as he read. This is every illegal transaction. Every bribe, every murder, the woman said. Everything your father did. And everyone's still doing it in his name. McKenna peered over Rowan's shoulder. Names. Dates. Bank accounts. Photos. This could destroy the entire organization, Rowan said. That's the idea, his mother replied. But it would also destroy us, Rowan said. The Hale name would be buried. Good, she said. Let it burn. Rowan stared at her. You really mean that? I've spent 15 years collecting this, she said. I've sacrificed everything. My family, my life, my identity. Her voice cracked slightly. I'm not letting it be for nothing. Rowan closed the folder. What do you need from us? Testimony, she said. From you. From her. She gestured to McKenna. Proof that they stole that child. Proof of the baby swap. Proof of everything. McKenna's stomach twisted. If we testify, they'll come after us. They're already coming after you, the woman said. At least this way, you fight back. A sound echoed from the tunnel behind them. Voices, footsteps, getting closer. They found the tunnel, Valor said. Rowan's mother cursed under her breath. We need to move, now. She turned toward a narrow passageway on the far side of the cavern. This way. It leads to the river. There's a boat waiting. They ran. McKenna's legs burned. Elias cried against her chest. It's okay, baby, she whispered. Just a little farther. The passageway opened up to a dock, an old wooden platform with a small motorboat tied to it. Get in, Rowan's mother ordered. Valor climbed in first, then McKenna, then Rowan. Rowan's mother untied the rope, but she didn't get in. Mom, Rowan said, what are you doing? She looked at him, and for the first time, her cold expression softened. I'm buying you time, she said. No, Rowan said, reaching for her. You're coming with us. She stepped back. They need someone to follow, someone to hunt. Mom, please. Rowan, she said gently. I've been dead for 15 years. Let me stay that way. Tears filled Rowan's eyes. I just got you back. You never lost me, she said. I've been watching. Always. She reached out, touching his face one last time. Live a life free from all of this, she whispered. Be the man I know you can be. Then she looked at McKenna. Protect that baby, she said. He deserves better than what this family gave us. McKenna nodded, tears streaming down her face. Rowan's mother pulled a gun from her coat. Go, now. Valor started the engine. The boat pulled away from the dock. Rowan stood, reaching back. Mom! She raised her gun toward the tunnel entrance. I love you, Rowan, she called out. I always have. Then she turned and fired into the darkness. Gunfire erupted. The tunnel lit up with muzzle flashes. The boat sped down the river, carrying them away. McKenna looked back one last time. She saw Rowan's mother standing on the dock, still firing, still fighting. Then the darkness swallowed her, and she was gone. Rowan collapsed into the boat, sobbing. McKenna reached for him, pulling him close. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. They floated in silence. The only sound was the river, and Rowan's broken breathing. Then Valor spoke. Sir, there's something you need to see. Rowan lifted his head. What? Valor pointed ahead. The river opened up into a clearing, and waiting on the shore were 6 black SUVs, armed men standing beside them, all pointing guns directly at the boat. Cut the engine, Rowan hissed. Valor killed the motor instantly. The boat drifted silently on the current. The armed men on the shore hadn't moved. They just stood there, waiting. "They're not shooting," McKenna whispered. "Why aren't they shooting?" "Because they want us alive," Rowan said quietly. "Dead bodies can't testify." Valor scanned the shoreline. "We can't go forward. And we can't go back. Then we go under," Rowan said. McKenna frowned. "Under?" Rowan pointed to the right side of the river where the water disappeared beneath a rocky overhang. "There's a channel," he said. "It goes underground. My father used it for smuggling." "You're sure?" Valor asked. "No," Rowan admitted. "But it's our only option." One of the men on shore raised a megaphone. "Rowan Hale, bring the boat to shore. No one has to die tonight." Rowan ignored him. He grabbed an oar and started paddling toward the overhang. Valor joined him. The boat moved slowly, too slowly. "They're going to shoot," McKenna whispered, curling over Elias. "Not yet," Rowan said. "Keep your head down." The overhang grew closer. The men on shore shifted, restless, uncertain. Then one of them raised his gun. "Last warning," the voice boomed through the megaphone. Rowan paddled harder, 10 feet from the overhang, 5 feet. The gunshot cracked through the night. It hit the water beside the boat. "Go! Go!" Rowan shouted. They paddled frantically. The boat slipped under the overhang just as a barrage of gunfire erupted behind them. Darkness swallowed them whole. The only sound was water, dripping, echoing. "Everyone okay?" Rowan asked. "Yeah," McKenna breathed. "We're okay." Elias whimpered softly. Valor pulled out a flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing a narrow tunnel ahead. The water flowed through it like a vein. "How far does this go?" McKenna asked. "I don't know," Rowan said. "My father never told me." They let the current carry them deeper into the tunnel. The walls pressed in on both sides, cold, wet, suffocating. McKenna's hands shook as she held Elias. "Rowan," she said softly, "your mother, I'm so sorry." Rowan's jaw tightened. She made her choice. "She loved you," McKenna said. "I could see it." Rowan's voice cracked. "I know." He wiped his eyes roughly. "She spent 15 years hiding," he said. 15 years alone. And the moment she came back, she died for us. McKenna reached out, touching his arm. "She died protecting what mattered. That's not nothing." Rowan looked at her, then at Elias. "Neither is this," he said quietly. The tunnel began to narrow. "We're going to have to duck," Valor warned. They lowered themselves as much as possible. The ceiling scraped the top of the boat. Elias started crying louder. "Shh, baby," McKenna whispered. "Please, not now." But his cries echoed through the tunnel, loud, piercing, and behind them, from somewhere in the darkness, voices. "They're in the tunnel. Follow them." McKenna's heart dropped. "They're coming." Valor checked behind them. Flashlight beams bounced off the walls in the distance. "They're on foot," he said, "but they're moving fast. Can we outrun them?" Rowan asked. "Not with the current this slow," Valor said. The tunnel opened up slightly. The boat picked up speed, but so did the voices behind them. "There! I see them!" Gunfire echoed. Bullets pinged off the stone walls. "Stay down!" Rowan yelled. McKenna pressed herself flat, shielding Elias. Completely. The boat rounded a bend, and suddenly the tunnel split. 2 paths, both dark, both identical. "Which way?" Valor shouted. Rowan looked left, then right. "I don't know." The voices grew louder, closer. "Rowan, choose," Valor yelled. "Left," Rowan said. "Are you sure?" "No, but go left." Valor steered the boat into the left tunnel. The current grew stronger, faster. The water rushed beneath them. Behind them, the voices paused at the split. "Which way did they go?" "Split up. Half go left, half go right." McKenna's stomach twisted. They're splitting up. They'll find us either way. Not if this tunnel leads out first, Rowan said. But the tunnel wasn't leading out. It was leading down, steeply down. Valor, McKenna said nervously. Is the water getting faster? Yeah, Valor said. A lot faster. The boat began to accelerate. Rowan grabbed the sides. Hold on. The tunnel dropped. The boat plunged forward like a slide. McKenna screamed. Water sprayed everywhere. Elias shrieked in her arms. They were falling, not flying. Falling. The walls blurred past them. Rapids, Valor yelled. There are rapids ahead. The water churned. White. Violent. The boat hit the first wave. It bucked. Nearly flipped. McKenna held Elias so tight she was afraid she'd hurt him. Don't let go, Rowan shouted. Another wave. Bigger. The boat tilted sideways. Water poured in. We're taking on water, Valor yelled. The current dragged them forward. Relentless. Unstoppable. Then a roar. Loud. Deafening. What is that? McKenna screamed. Valor's face went pale. Waterfall. The word hung in the air for one terrible second. Then the boat shot over the edge, and they fell into the darkness below. They hit the water hard. The impact knocked the air from McKenna's lungs. Cold, dark, suffocating. She went under, still clutching Elias. Her legs kicked frantically. Her lungs burned. Up. She needed to go up. Her head broke the surface. She gasped for air, coughing. Elias, she screamed. He was still in her arms, still breathing, crying, but breathing. Rowan, she called out. Here. His voice came from her left. She swam toward him, fighting the current. He grabbed her, pulling her close. I've got you. Valor? McKenna gasped. I'm here, Valor called from behind them. Everyone alive? Barely, Rowan said. They swam toward the shore, a rocky beach at the edge of the underground pool. McKenna dragged herself onto the stones, collapsing. Every muscle in her body screamed. Elias coughed, then cried louder. You're okay, baby, McKenna whispered, checking him over. You're okay. Rowan pulled himself up beside her, breathing hard. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead. We need to keep moving, Valor said, limping onto the shore. They'll find another way down. Rowan nodded, standing on shaky legs. He helped McKenna up. This way, he said, pointing to a narrow passage leading away from the pool. They stumbled forward. The passage was tight, dark, but as they moved, deeper. Something changed. The air grew warmer, then hotter. Is it just me? McKenna said, or is it getting really hot? It's not just you, Valor said. An orange glow appeared ahead. Rowan frowned. What is that? They emerged into a massive cavern, and McKenna's breath caught. The entire space glowed with heat. Orange and red light pulsed from cracks in the floor. Geothermal vents. Lava rock stretched across the cavern floor, unstable and crumbling. We're inside a volcano, Valor said quietly. Not active, Rowan said, but close enough. The heat was overwhelming. Sweat poured down McKenna's face. Elias whimpered, his little face red. We can't stay here, McKenna said. The heat will kill him. Rowan scanned the cavern. On the far side, maybe 50 yards away, was another opening. There, he said. That's our way out. Valor looked at the unstable ground between them and the exit. We'll have to cross the lava rock. Can we? McKenna asked. We don't have a choice, Rowan said. He stepped onto the first rock. It shifted under his weight, but held. Careful, he said. Test each step before you commit. McKenna followed, holding Elias close. The heat radiating from below was unbearable. Valor brought up the rear, his injured leg making every step painful. They moved slowly, deliberately. One wrong step and they'd fall into the molten cracks below. Halfway across, McKenna's foot slipped. She screamed, nearly losing her balance. Rowan caught her arm. "I've got you. Don't look down." She nodded, heart pounding. They kept moving. Then, a distant boom echoed through the cavern. The ground shook. "What was that?" Makina asked. Another boom, closer this time. "They're blasting through," Valor said, "trying to reach us." The cavern shook again. Cracks spread across the lava rock beneath their feet. "Move faster!" Rowan yelled. They ran, leaping from rock to rock. The ground crumbled behind them. Makina's legs burned, her arms ached from holding Elias, but she didn't stop. Another explosion, this one massive. The entire cavern shuddered. A section of the ceiling collapsed, crashing down behind them. Dust and debris filled the air. "Run!" Rowan screamed. "The whole place is collapsing." They sprinted toward the exit. The floor tilted beneath them. Rocks fell like rain. Makina stumbled. Rowan grabbed her, pulling her forward. "Don't stop!" he yelled. They reached the opening just as the cavern floor gave way completely. They dove through, hit the ground hard, rolled. Behind them, the cavern collapsed in on itself with a deafening roar. Fire, smoke, destruction, then silence. McKenna lay on the ground, gasping for air. Elias was still in her arms, still crying, still alive. "Is everyone okay?" Rowan asked, voice hoarse. "Yeah," Valor groaned. "Somehow." Rowan helped McKenna sit up. "You all right?" She nodded, though she wasn't sure that was true. They were in another tunnel now, cooler, quieter, but the question remained. Where did it lead? "We can't go back," Valor said, looking at the collapsed cavern behind them. "Then we go forward," Rowan said. They stood, exhausted and battered, and continued down the tunnel. The darkness pressed in around them. After what felt like hours, they saw it. Light. Real light. Not fire, not artificial. Daylight. They stumbled toward it, desperate. The tunnel opened up. Fresh air hit them like a blessing. They emerged onto a hillside. Trees surrounded them. The sun was rising. "We made it," McKenna whispered. "We actually made it." Rowan pulled her into his arms, holding both her and Elias. "We're safe," he said. "We're finally safe." But then Valor spoke. "Sir, you need to see this." Rowan turned. Valor was looking down the hill. At the bottom was a small town, and in the center of the town square, on a massive billboard, was a photo. Rowan's face, McKenna's face, and the words, "Wanted. $10 million reward." $10 million? McKenna whispered, staring at the billboard. "They put a bounty on us?" Rowan's face hardened. "They're not just hunting us anymore. They're turning everyone else into hunters." Valor scanned the town below. "We can't go down there. Someone will recognize us. We don't have a choice," Rowan said. "We need food, water, and a way out of here." "Then we need disguises," Valor said. "Fast." They moved carefully down the hillside, staying hidden in the trees. The town was small, maybe a few hundred people, but every face was a potential threat now. "There," Rowan pointed to a thrift store on the edge of town. "We can get clothes there." They waited until the street was empty, then slipped inside. The clerk barely looked up from her phone. Rowan grabbed a baseball cap and sunglasses. McKenna found a hoodie and pulled it over her head, hiding Elias underneath. Valor took a jacket and a beanie. They paid cash and left quickly. "Where now?" McKenna asked, adjusting Elias, who was finally sleeping. "We need a car," Rowan said, "something that won't draw attention." They found an old pickup truck parked behind a diner. The keys were in the ignition. "Seriously?" Valor said. "Who leaves their keys in the car?" "Small town people," Rowan said. "Let's go before our luck runs out." They climbed in. Valor drove. Rowan sat in the passenger seat. McKenna stayed in the back with Elias. They pulled onto the main road, driving slowly, casually. "Where are we even going?" McKenna asked. Rowan pulled out the folder his mother had given him. There's an address here. A journalist she trusted. Someone who can help us expose everything. Where? Valor asked. 2 states over, Rowan said. If we drive straight through, we can make it by tomorrow night. That's a long time to stay invisible, Valor said. Then we better be smart about it, Rowan replied. They drove for hours, through back roads and small towns, avoiding highways, avoiding cameras. Elias woke up crying, hungry. McKenna tried to soothe him, but he wouldn't stop. We need to stop, she said. He needs to eat, Rowan nodded. There's a rest stop ahead. We'll pull over. They parked in a secluded corner of the rest stop. McKenna fed Elias in the back seat while Rowan and Valor kept watch. We're going to make it, Rowan said quietly, watching her through the rearview mirror. McKenna looked up. You really believe that? I have to, Rowan said, because the alternative is unthinkable. McKenna's eyes softened. Thank you. For everything. You don't have to thank me, Rowan said. Yes, I do, McKenna said. You could have walked away. Given Elias to them. Saved yourself. No, Rowan said firmly. I couldn't. Why not? Rowan turned in his seat, meeting her eyes. Because you're not just protecting a baby, he said. You're protecting the only pure thing left in this mess. And I'm not letting them destroy that. McKenna's throat tightened. Rowan. Before she could finish, Valor stiffened. We've got a problem, he said. A police car had pulled into the rest stop. The officer stepped out, scanning the area. Did he see us? McKenna whispered. I don't know, Valor said, but we can't risk it. The officer started walking toward their truck. Slowly, deliberately. Rowan's hand moved to the gun in his jacket. If he recognizes us, don't, McKenna said. Please, no more violence. Then what do we do? Rowan asked. The officer was 10 feet away now. Act normal, Valor whispered. Just a family on a road trip. The officer tapped on the window. Valor rolled it down, forcing a smile. Evening, officer. Everything okay? The officer studied them. His eyes lingered on Rowan, then on McKenna in the back. Where are you folks headed? The officer asked. Visiting family, Valor lied smoothly. Up north. The officer nodded slowly. You mind if I see some ID? McKenna's heart stopped. If he ran their names, it was over. Valor reached for his wallet, buying time. Then Elias made a sound. A soft coo. The officer's expression softened. You got a baby back there? McKenna nodded, forcing a smile. Yes, sir. He's been fussy all day. The officer chuckled. I've got 3 of my own. I know how that goes. He stepped back. All right, you folks drive safe and get that little one some rest. Thank you, officer, Valor said. The officer walked away. They sat in silence, not moving, until his car pulled out of the rest stop. Then McKenna exhaled shakily. That was too close. Way too close, Rowan agreed. Valor started the engine. We need to ditch this truck. They'll be looking for it now. Agreed, Rowan said. Let's find something else. They drove another 20 miles before finding an abandoned farmhouse. An old van sat in the driveway, rusted but functional. They switched vehicles and kept moving. Night fell. The roads grew darker. McKenna held Elias close, humming softly. Rowan watched them in the mirror, and for the first time in days he felt something that wasn't fear, hope. But then, headlights appeared behind them. Bright, aggressive, getting closer. We've got a tail, Valor said. Rowan turned. How many? 2 vehicles, Valor said. Maybe more. The headlights flashed, once, twice, a signal. They found us, McKenna whispered. The vehicles sped up, ramming into the back of the van. McKenna screamed, holding Elias tighter. Hold on, Valor yelled. He swerved, trying to shake them, but they kept coming, relentless. Another hit. The van's back window shattered. Then, a gunshot. The tire exploded. The van spun out of control and slammed into a tree. McKenna's ears rang. Everything was spinning. She tasted blood in her mouth. Elias, she gasped, panic flooding her chest. She looked down. He was still in her arms, crying, terrified, but alive. "Thank God," she whispered, kissing his forehead. "Thank God." She tried to move. Pain shot through her shoulder. "Valor?" she called out. "Rowan?" Valor groaned from the front seat. I'm okay." But Rowan didn't answer. "Rowan," McKenna's voice rose. "Rowan." She crawled forward, still clutching Elias. Rowan was slumped against the dashboard. Blood dripped from a gash on his head. His eyes were closed. He wasn't moving. "No," McKenna whispered. "No, no, no." She reached out, shaking him. "Rowan, wake up. Please, wake up." Nothing. "Valor," she screamed. "He's not breathing." Valor kicked open his door and stumbled around to Rowan's side. He pulled Rowan out of the van, laying him on the ground. McKenna scrambled out after them, still holding Elias. "Is he—" Her voice broke. "Is he breathing?" Valor pressed his fingers to Rowan's neck. Seconds felt like hours. McKenna's entire body shook. Please, Valor, tell me he's okay." Valor's face was pale. "I feel a pulse. It's faint, but it's there." McKenna collapsed beside Rowan, tears streaming down her face. "Rowan," she whispered, touching his face. "Please don't leave me, please." She kissed his forehead, his cheek, anywhere she could reach. "We need you," she sobbed. "Elias needs you. I need you." Rowan's eyelids fluttered. "That's it," Valor said. "Come on, sir. Stay with us." Rowan's eyes opened slowly, unfocused, confused. "McKenna?" His voice was barely a whisper. "I'm here," she said, crying harder. "I'm right here." Rowan tried to sit up, winced. "Elias?" "He's okay," McKenna said. "We're both okay." Rowan's hand reached up, touching her face. "Don't cry." "I thought I lost you," McKenna said. "You didn't," Rowan said, though his voice was weak. "I'm not going anywhere." Valor helped him sit up. "We need to move. They'll be coming." "I can walk," Rowan said, though he clearly couldn't. "No, you can't," McKenna said. "Lean on me." "McKenna." "Lean on me," she repeated firmly. Rowan didn't argue. He let her help him stand, one arm around her shoulders. They stumbled into the woods away from the wreckage. Behind them, car doors slammed. Voices shouted. "Find them! They can't have gone far." McKenna's legs burned. Rowan was heavy against her, but she didn't stop. "Just a little farther," she whispered. "You can do this." They reached a rocky outcrop, a small cave hidden behind overgrown vines. "In here," Valor said. They squeezed inside. The cave was shallow, barely big enough for the three of them, but it was hidden. McKenna set Elias down gently, then turned to Rowan. "Let me see your head," she said. Blood still seeped from the gash. She tore a piece of her shirt and pressed it against the wound. Rowan winced but didn't pull away. "You're going to be okay," she said. "I won't let anything happen to you." Rowan looked at her. Really looked at her. "McKenna," he said softly. "I need to tell you something." "Save your strength," she said. "No," Rowan insisted. "I need to say this, in case I don't get another chance." McKenna's chest tightened. "Don't talk like that." "Listen to me," Rowan said, his voice urgent despite his weakness. "From the moment you held Elias on that plane, everything changed. You changed me." Tears filled McKenna's eyes. "Rowan, I've spent my whole life chasing power," Rowan continued, "chasing control. But none of it mattered. Not until I saw you. Protecting him. Fighting for him. Loving him." He touched her face gently. You're the strongest person I've ever met, he whispered, and I don't want to lose you. McKenna's voice broke. You won't. I promise. I love you, Rowan said. I know it's crazy. I know we barely know each other, but I love you. McKenna's breath caught. And I love Elias, Rowan continued, not because of his name, not because of some legacy, but because he's yours, and that makes him mine too. Tears streamed down McKenna's face. I love you too. Rowan pulled her close, kissing her forehead. Then we survive this. Together. McKenna nodded. Together. Outside, the voices grew closer. Spread out. Check every inch of these woods. Valor peered out of the cave. They're getting close. Rowan tried to stand. We need to move. But before they could, a sound echoed from deeper in the cave. Footsteps. Slow. Uneven. Someone was behind them. Valor raised his gun. Who's there? A figure emerged from the darkness, limping, bloodied, barely standing. McKenna's heart stopped. It was a woman. Her white coat was torn and stained with blood. Her face was bruised, swollen, but unmistakable. Mila? Rowan whispered, stunned. Mila leaned against the cave wall, breathing hard. Surprise, she rasped. I'm harder to kill than they thought. Valor kept his gun aimed at her. How did you find us? Mila smiled weakly. I didn't find you. I've been following them. Why? McKenna asked. Mila's eyes met hers. Because I owe you, and because... She swallowed hard. I'm tired of being the villain. Rowan stared at his sister. You're supposed to be dead. I was, Mila said. For a few minutes. But apparently I'm too stubborn to stay that way. She pulled something from her pocket. A flash drive. This has everything, she said. Every name, every crime, every secret the Hale Empire tried to bury. She handed it to Rowan. Take it, she said. Finish what I started. Why are you helping us? McKenna asked. Mila looked at Elias, then at McKenna. Because you showed me something I'd forgotten, Mila said. That redemption is possible, even for people like me. Outside, a voice boomed through a megaphone. Rowan Hale, we know you're in there. Come out now. Mila straightened despite her pain. I'll distract them, she said. You three run. No, Rowan said. Not again. Yes, Mila said firmly. This time. Let me be the hero. She limped toward the cave entrance and stopped. Rowan, she said without turning around. I'm sorry for everything. Mila, but she was already gone. Walking out into the open, hands raised, ready to sacrifice herself one last time. Gunfire erupted outside the cave. McKenna screamed, clutching Elias tighter. Mila! Rowan tried to move toward the entrance, but Valor held him back. Sir, we have to go. Now. More gunshots, shouting, chaos. Then Mila's voice, loud and defiant. You want the Hale heir? Come through me first. Rowan's face twisted with pain. She's buying us time. Then we don't waste it, Valor said, pulling Rowan deeper into the cave. They moved quickly through a narrow passage at the back. It twisted and turned, leading them farther underground. Behind them, the gunfire continued, then stopped. A terrible silence followed. McKenna's heart broke. She's gone, isn't she? Rowan's jaw clenched. She chose this. We honor it by surviving. They pushed forward. The passage grew tighter, darker, then light. A small opening ahead. They squeezed through one by one and emerged into a forest clearing, fresh air, sunlight, freedom. McKenna collapsed to her knees, sobbing. We made it. We actually made it. Rowan dropped beside her, pulling both her and Elias into his arms. We're free, he whispered, his voice breaking. We're finally free. Elias cooed softly, reaching up to touch Rowan's face. Rowan kissed his tiny hand, tears streaming down his cheeks. I've got you, little man. I've got both of you. Valor stood guard, scanning the area. We're not completely clear yet. We need to keep moving. I know, Rowan said, but give us 1 minute. Just one. Valor nodded. 1 minute. Rowan turned to McKenna, cupping her face in his hands. You did it. You saved him. We saved him, McKenna corrected. Together. Rowan kissed her forehead, then her lips, soft, gentle, full of promise. I meant what I said back there, he whispered. I love you, and I'm never letting you go. McKenna smiled through her tears. Good, because I'm not going anywhere. They stood slowly, helping each other up. Where do we go now? McKenna asked. Rowan pulled out the flash drive Mila had given him. We find that journalist, we expose everything, and we make sure Mila's sacrifice meant something. And after that? McKenna asked. Rowan looked at Elias, then at her. After that, he said, we live. Really live. No more running. No more hiding. Just us. A family. McKenna's chest swelled with emotion. A family. Yeah, Rowan said, smiling for the first time in days. A real one. They started walking through the forest. Slowly. Carefully. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. It's beautiful, McKenna whispered. It is, Rowan agreed, though he was looking at her, not the sky. Valor led them to a road. A small car was parked on the shoulder, keys in the ignition. Your mother? Rowan asked. Valor nodded. She planned for everything. They climbed in. Valor drove. Rowan sat beside him, McKenna and Elias in the back. As they pulled away, McKenna looked back one last time, at the forest, at the cave, at everything they'd survived. It's over, she whispered. Not yet, Rowan said, but soon. They drove through the night, quiet, exhausted, but together. Elias fell asleep in McKenna's arms. Rowan reached back, holding her hand. We're going to be okay, he said. I know, McKenna said, and for the first time in 2 years she actually believed it. Hours later they pulled into a small motel, paid cash, kept their heads down. Inside the room, McKenna laid Elias on the bed. He slept peacefully, finally safe. Rowan wrapped his arms around her from behind. Get some rest. We have a long day tomorrow. What happens tomorrow? McKenna asked. Tomorrow, Rowan said, we change everything. McKenna leaned back against him. I'm ready. They stood there in silence, watching Elias sleep. A family. Against all odds. But far away, in a towering skyscraper in New York City, a phone rang. A man in an expensive suit answered. Yes? Sir, the voice on the other end said urgently. We have a problem. What kind of problem? The Hale heir. He's missing. And so is Rowan. The man's face hardened. Find them. We've tried, sir. They've gone completely off grid. Then try harder, the man said coldly. And when you find them, eliminate the problem, all of them. He hung up and smiled, because the game wasn't over. It was just beginning. The end, or is it?